All right, the watch list for Friday. EHTH we had on watch today. If I go to intraday, I mean, see, it waited really until the final 10 or 15 minutes to really get pushing up. So I still like this as a potential long. Before I get too far on this list, just I want to give you some examples of the kind of trades that we call in the chat room so you can decide if it's even relevant to the way you trade. Cree, pretty good example. Michael N., one of our chat room moderators. Let me get that line out of the way. Called Cree right over this about 20-25 minutes in, right over this little flag. 34.35 was his entry call, which triggered right there on that candle. And the worst case stop was only 20 cents below. Look at that. On 20 cents risk, the thing went to 36.65. $2.30 move on 20 cents risk. Excellent call. XON, I had this on Bounce Watch in the video last night. If you watch the video, this is what it looked like coming into today. So had this huge move from 28 to over 40, then right back down to what I said was recent resistance, should now become support, or could now become support. So I wanted to watch this for a bounce today. Now let me show you how I called it. This is what it looked like 15 minutes in. And I just called a 5-minute buy setup on this because remember the chart I just showed you, it's so beaten up, and then you get the gap down, and then you get another 15 minutes of selling. So I thought, and look at that volume. I thought this might be where it's bottoming. So I called it long over this candle, 26.90 low of day stop. And maybe it doesn't look like that much, but from 26.90, this went to 29.59, a $2.69 move in our favor on less than 50 cents risk. FXCM, Gulam, one of our moderators, called this at 260, right about here. Right there where my arrow is with a 250 stop. And this thing from, so on a dime risk from 260, this thing went up to 351. That's a huge percentage move. I also called BlackBerry early. You see this red candle right here. BlackBerry gapped up, sold off, put in a lower high. And I thought if these sellers that came in here get taken out, this should push through the high of the day and maybe squeeze. So I called it a 1047. Worst case stop below this same candle, 1032. So 15 cents risk, and from 1047 it went to 1111 at one point right there, and then got squashed. But it doesn't matter because we're day traders, already put the money in our pockets. Also called Cuba right here at 942, I think, with about 12 cent stop. 12 cent stop, and went up through 990. So those are the highlights from today. I'm sure I'm leaving some out too, but that's the kind of trades we look for. Stuff that has had recent action and then are very close to some kind of intraday trigger that should get it going. So that's my style. If it matches your style, maybe pop in the room, give us a shot. Back to the watch list, I talked about EHTH. NVGN goes on watch because late in the day today, this got a tweet or something got this going, but it ran up to 270 and then pulled back. Wow. Not the other day. In mid-December, this ran all the way up to $6. Gapped up the other day about a week ago and ran up to 340 before coming right back down again. But that late day volume to me makes this interesting. So I want to watch it for a potential long tomorrow. I mean, I like it over today's high, but there may be a better setup than that once the market opens. I can't give numbers the night before because I don't know how it's going to trade tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and watch it, and then only call it if it gives a low risk setup. KBH just goes back on bounce watch. This home builder that's really beaten up hasn't given me a trigger long to buy it yet, but it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. ADXS, this goes back on bounce watch too. Just really, really strong, and then in 3 days, big volume, just getting slapped, and it's pretty interesting to me here for a potential bounce. I didn't take a trade in this today. Some people made some money trading this today, but I didn't mess with it. I'm going to wait until we get what I call our pure play bounce setup, so we'll see what happens. If it sets up, I'll take the trade. ASPS. I had a really nice trade in this thing today. This thing went from, this doesn't look like a big candle, but that's because it was 120 back here in July. So this has fallen all the way down from 120 to below 20. So because you have that huge range in this, whatever this is, about a 6-month chart, this candle doesn't look very big, but it is. From the low here, and this was, 4 sessions ago, it was 1776, went to 3288 on 5 million shares. So that kind of action has my attention. Had a great trade in this one yesterday, and then today again. I called this long over 25, and within 5 minutes, this was 26.74, and I'm just hitting sell, 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 just scaling out all the way up, and that was actually my best trade of the day, even though there were better calls than that in the room, like that Cree call. So that one's going to go back on watch tomorrow. Again, only with a proper intraday setup, but with that kind of action, you got to have this one on watch. XON, I just talked about it, but I'm going to put it back on watch because now decent volume today. I mean, a really big volume day. Second biggest one you can see on the chart. And it's back down at support and closed below or above its open. So I want to watch that one for a continuation of the bounce. And then Avon, AVP, 48 million shares. I think that was rumors of a buyout. I'm not sure if there's any truth to it, but that's got to go back on watch. That was a massive move for that stock. So we'll see if there's a follow-through setup on Friday. All right, I'm going to leave my list at that. We'll find gappers in the pre-market to trade during the day as well tomorrow. So we'll leave it at that. Have a great night, and we will talk to you tomorrow.